Hi and welcome back to Cheeky Crypto. My name is Nick and today guys we're going to be jumping down into the world of XRP, reviewing the price action, what's been going on, what I think is likely to happen next and all that wonderful stuff. As I get into the video, if you find it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, what are you waiting for? Check it out. Link is in the description down below. And let's get right down into it. Let's kick things off with the 1 hour time frame. So here we have XRP paired up with USDT on the Bitget spot exchange 1 hour time frame. And we're still moving down in the way that we're kind of expecting it to. So nothing terribly unusual here going on. We saw a small move back up towards the 50 EMA and then rejection. Now, looking at the structure of this, it looks very impulsive in the way that it's going. It looks like we are potentially looking for a bounce, a small bounce anyway, before continuing this move to the downside here. Ultimately, we've left a lot of fair value gaps behind. These are the gaps that you see here in red. These are basically imbalances in the order books. A lot of selling pressure, not enough buying pressure. And so we see this cascading effect going on here as people are getting more and more concerned. Now, essentially, we're on track for all those numbers that I've been talking about for quite some time. Nothing terribly too unusual. We're looking at this as a big W, X, Y, X, and Z. We'll take a look at that on a bigger time frame in a moment. But as you can kind of see this recent move, let's go ahead and analyze what's going on here. Okay, so we can see that we have internal structure of 5 here. We don't know what this is about. So on this 1 hour time frame, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take it down to a 15-minute just to kind of reflect on this. This is an interesting pattern in itself, and I'd say it's contracting down, and I think that's actually going to be our diagonal right there. We bounced up, we came here, here, here. We've got to look for a little fourth wave and then move back down. So let me show you. So where are we? Let's find my 5-wave count. So we'll start with this internal move here. Okay. This one looks like we're going to have something like this go on. Okay, so it looks like the wave 3 is coming to an end, and it looks like we're going to bounce up a little ways before going down into the 5th wave. Okay, that is essentially your 3rd wave out of this pattern here. This looks like a diagonal. We go up, we come down, we go up, we come down. So it still looks like we're in this kind of structured move to the downside here. Now, over this side, any major concerns? Well, there's a little bit of a concern, but I don't think we're anything more than 335. I think that's going to basically park us off there, taking us down into a potential Y-wave finishing move. Essentially here, I'm not too concerned on that. I think we are looking okay from that point of view. Let's bring it back to the hourly. So that kind of means that, yeah, we've got to come down a little bit deeper here before we move up in a more significant bounce. So yeah, I suspect that we've got to come down a little bit deeper. Now, there's a couple of places that we could look at that. We could be looking at our structured move being, yeah, I'd say that our A wave's got to be here, our B wave's got to be here, so that's going to give us a bit of an anchor. So let's go ahead and take a look. I think the C wave's only just beginning, meaning the Y wave's probably got a bit further to go. Now, I do suspect we're going to see a bounce to the upside, and I think a lot of people are also suspecting this. I'm looking for 57 right now. I think that's going to be the area that we're going to be looking for, 57.6. So we'll bounce from there, then we'll move down again, probably retesting those lows. So the bigger bounce and the bigger move isn't going to happen just yet. I think we're going to see a small bounce up and then another move down. I suspect that this C wave is going to have to be containing a bigger 3-wave pattern in itself, something to this effect. As we kind of finish off that one, we bounce up into what will be a fair value gap, and then we move down into that 57-cent range, and we'll finish that structure off. So on our 1 hour time frame, expect volatility. It's looking like mass sell-off effect here for XRP, but it's not really happening outside of the outside of the traders area. Essentially, on-chain data shows actually there's a lot of accumulation occurring at the larger levels. So I'm not too concerned. This is, in my opinion, a buy the dip opportunity. I hate saying it, but it kind of where I kind of land with that one. Moving over into our daily time frame, we can see that we've had a very significant surge to the upside. Right, we hit our C wave target 93.8, and we can see here that we're breaking back down. Now you can see that we were finding support on the 50 EMA, and if we close today lower than our 50 EMA at 62.3, then yeah, we're probably going to be looking at that deeper move that I was just talking about, which essentially is going to be that W, X, Y, X, and Z pattern. So W, X, Y, X, and Z. I'm looking for that lower move to come on in, specifically looking at this area over here, which was previous area of resistance. And I'm looking to try to find that as a support level, right? So if we go ahead and find the lows, and I think this one's going to be our high point. Just going to drag that across here. You can see that this is a previous area of support. We lost it and it became an area of resistance, right? And so this area is basically 53 to 58 cent. So the Y wave will bounce. I think we'll bounce up into an X wave and then we'll test the lower side. I think we'll find support on the 200 EMA at a later date, but that's probably going to be quite some time away. Moving over into the weekly time frame, essentially what I'm talking about here is testing that low range around the 0.236, 57 cent. Okay, that's going to be where I think that first bounce is likely to be. Okay, so for the most part, on the XRP price action side of things, it's actually looking okay. It's not terribly too bad. And for the most part, what we're seeing here is just a nice healthy correction to the downside. Can be a little bit worrying for many because, you know, it is a significant move to the downside, and unfortunately, as a lot of retail investors believe that, you know, it's going to go straight to the moon. It's like flicking a switch and, you know, that's it. Unfortunately, it doesn't quite work that way. Everything has to be balanced out, right? Supply and demand and all of that. So a move down of 34.9% so far is quite significant, but it's nothing too much to be worried about in my opinion. We did come to the end of our structure and this was an obvious reversal point for us. So looking for the move to the downside here, and I've been calling out the kind of 60 cent range for quite some time. So it's not an unusual thing that we've been talking about on the channel for any particular reason. Essentially, I am still looking for slightly deeper. And once complete, I look for a bounce. Now that bounce to the upside could be a big move to the upside where we see big catalyst for, you know, targeting out that $1 level again. Or it could just be that actually all of this structure that we just spoke about is just an A wave. Are we bouncing up into a B wave and maybe hitting like 80 cent and then breaking down to the 50 cent range, right? So also a possibility, but we won't know until a little bit further down the line as to whether or not that is going to be what plays out. So we need to be a little bit cautious and a little bit concerned with that. But for the most part, overly too concerned with what I'm seeing here when it comes to the price action of XRP. Now, if I come up into the data side of things and the news, well, over at membership.𝗕𝗘𝗪crypto.io, link in the description below, we obviously do offer a 7-day free trial, so you can check that out. Under the perks, we've got several different packages here. The Mega Pack, which we call it, has the access to the data. These packs do not, but you can bolt it on separately at checkout. So you can get the $14.99 base level plus the data, right? You don't have to have the larger pack. But if you do sign up, get a free trial, see what you think of it. But under the data zone, there's XRP data, right? So I'm going to load up the XRP data. In the XRP data here, we have the overview of everything that's going on, you know, all-time high, how many days it's been since the all-time high, the percentage that we're currently down from that all-time high, all the way through to the amount of transactions there were in the last 24 hours, 1.2 million, at a cost of $1,900, right? So it's incredibly cheap. It's designed for, it's fit for purpose, right? It's doing exactly what it's designed to do, which is fantastic. We have liquidations, so you can see whether or not there's any problems with liquidations, exchanges liquidating people and all that kind of stuff. Bybit being the #1 exchange for liquidating XRP leverage positions, $485,000. Long positions are 71% liquidated, shorts only 28.7. But really what I want to talk about are the wallets, because the wallets are showing us some interesting levels of data for the wealthier levels, right? So we can see there's a little bit of a sell-off in terms of these wallets, right? And you can see this linear line at the top here, 100,000 XRP or more per wallet, right? You can see that they're slightly down over the last kind of 30 days, but for the most part, they've been accumulating over the last year, right? So this is why I'm not that concerned about these kind of smaller price action movements, because essentially these larger players have been accumulating for quite some time and they haven't really been aggressively selling off. And you can also see that here within the 1 million XRP per wallet. You can see they're up 13% in the last year, yet they're down, you know, only 0.42% in the last 30 days. So essentially, it's not giving me that kind of concerning moment where I'm saying, okay, well, large whales are basically dumping XRP on retail. That's not what I'm seeing here at all. So these small price movements that I'm seeing in the space, they do not concern me. Now, taking a look at the news side of things, would we have anything really going on there of note? Not really. There's not much kind of coming up. I mean, a lot of people are speculating on big reversals in the market. They're looking for a swing. And I do agree with that to a point. I do expect us to kind of bounce up a little ways, but I'm still expecting us to move down and lose the 60-cent level. Looking at 57 as a nice area to find support. So yeah, I think, yeah, we're going to see a swing upwards. We'll probably be targeting out, 80 cent again at some point soon, but I'm not thinking that's going to be an immediate reaction. I'm not expecting it to happen in 24 hours or anything like that. I suspect it's going to be something that's going to take a little bit longer to kind of play out overall. So, we'll see how that kind of goes. Obviously, the SEC versus Ripple is something that's also bubbling in the background, and there's going to be things that happen there that might actually spur this to happen a little bit faster, but for the most part, I'm not overly expecting it. Now, moving over to exchanges, guys, I think it's really important. We have seen some interesting stuff with 𝗕𝗓𝗪, whether they are insolvent or not. I think essentially it's going to be worth making sure that we have access to as many different exchanges as you possibly can. My go-to is Bitget, as you guys know. I use Bitget for 90 to 95% of all my spot trades, and I use it as 100% of my leverage trade positions as well. Now, there is an affiliate link in the description below. I do encourage you guys to use that, sign up, get kind of familiar with the platform. Whether you choose to use Bitget or not, I just think it's a great idea to make sure you have exposure to as many of these exchanges as you possibly can. So if you do use that affiliate link in the description below, you will be eligible for up to $8,000 of deposit bonuses and rewards, depending on how much you deposit and trade on the platform. So there's some fantastic incentives to get you over there as well. Now, personally, I use this as my go-to platform, and I have other exchanges like, Coinbase, Binance, KuCoin, Gate.io, for example, as my backups. Okay, and as I said, it's important to have exposure to as many different exchanges as you possibly can. Don't just bottleneck yourself into one or two. Make sure you have registered with as many as you possibly can. In the bull market, it's incredibly difficult to log on to some of these platforms and actually execute your trades. Under such high demand, the servers and the server loads, they tend to basically pull the websites down quite aggressively. So just be really cautious. Make sure you have exposure to as many different exchanges as possible. Personally, I'm recommended Bitget. It is my go-to platform. I think you guys, if you're using it, you won't be disappointed by what you find there either. So why not check it out? Affiliate link is in the description down below. Now, moving over into some of the recent trades that we've done, we've been quite aggressively trading 𝗕𝗃 recently, but we have traded some XRP stuff as well. From the community here, you can see that there's some pretty interesting kind of trades that have been occurring. And again, these are not unusual trades, right? When these are not hundreds and hundreds or thousands of % gains, right? These are realistic, real people trades, right? They are basically hourly charts for the most part, right? You're in and out of trades. These are things that we offer within our membership platform, trading signals and things like that, based on the technical analysis that we produce within our Discord server. And so, JB, as you may know from the podcast channel, one of our resident analysts has basically been trading fantastically on the 𝗕𝗃 charts. Basically, 𝗕𝗃 has been trading in and out of positions quite nicely and has been applying the rules of Elliott wave theory beautifully. So we've seen some really nice gains coming from shorting 𝗕𝗃, but also going long on 𝗕𝗃 at times as well, right? Because even Cardano longs, for example, right? There's some fantastic opportunities here, going long on 𝗕𝗃 at 48%, for example, and then basically coming out of that long position and switching it into a short position, right? And being able to kind of trade in and out of all of the various different waves. So again, another reason why you might want to check out membership.𝗕𝗃crypto.io. Link for that is also in the description below. I'm going to wrap this video up there though, guys. If you have found it useful and informative, smash that like button. I do appreciate that. If you are new to the channel, then why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all the notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done and out of the way, guys, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.